Hey everybody, welcome to etrailer.com. I'm Bobby, and today we're taking a look at the Thule Hullavator here in our 2015 Nissan Pathfinder. Now guys, kayaks can be a little heavy, and especially if we find ourselves paddling, or it's just, just a little hard for us to actually get up on our roof, especially the Pathfinder already, somewhat of a tall vehicle, almost at 6-foot range. Can be a little hard to start getting your kayaks loaded up, especially after paddling. It's been a long day. So this is gonna be an excellent way of giving us a nice little gas strut load assist option that's going to make it super easy to get the kayak up on there. So I've quickly become a fan of this guy, only using him a couple times, and then you guys are really going to like how well that gas strut load assist is really going to start working for us. We're also going to have a 75-pound weight capacity for our kayaks, so I think we're going to be doing a very good job of getting most of the kayaks we need up on here. And I think you are going to be a very big fan of these carriers as well. They're going to do a good job making sure our kayak's not getting any damage sustained to it, giving it a nice stable platform. Now the one thing to take note though, guys, we are going to need some necessary roof rack requirements. What I mean by that, we are going to need about 4 to 8 inches of overhang here. So our feet are going to need that much spread between our Pathfinder here and our other vehicles, of course, if we were to throw this on anything. And that's because we are just going to be having an overhang on here. If you guys looked at some of the photos, and later on in the video you're going to see, we're needing that necessary spacing to make sure that we don't damage our vehicle as we get it on there. So make sure you are getting the appropriate roof racks for your system as well, and that's going to be a big one with this guy as well. So make sure we're checking that and checking it with our fit guide here at etrailer.com. One awesome thing about the Hullivator as well, guys, you're going to get a very nice bow and stern strap kit. What I mean by that, you're going to get some S-hooks here today, and you also are going to get this nice little carabiner and pulley system. I really like this pulley system, guys. After fighting with a lot of kayak tie downs and trying to get them to tie down correctly, this becomes awesome to go ahead, really cinch it down into your temporary hook elements, and that way we can get a nice secure fit. Now today we also are utilizing Thule's hood loops here today, and that's going to go ahead and give us a great little mounting point. So we actually have this on the inside of our engine bay here. We'll go ahead and give you guys a little footage of that, and what's happening, that's actually tying into that grommet there, holding in position, giving us a nice semi-permanent attachment point, which becomes great of allowing ourselves to put on that bow strap. Now in the back, you can go ahead and utilize that S-hook into that back of that hitch, somewhere on the underneath of your vehicle. Those hooks on the inside of your hatchback as well work great for that. Well guys, now that we have those bow and stern straps off, we can go ahead and really start seeing what this guy is all about. To do so, we're just going to simply walk right up. We have these two handles here, and all we want to do is simply pop it towards us. You can hear that release, and then we want to start tilting this up. Now I really like to go ahead and grab that. You're going to feel that weight of that carrier start to change. Right here's a great little position to get your bearings again. Come back to it and start lifting up and towards yourself. So those struts are going to do a very good job of keeping it in place here. And try to go as even as you can, obviously, to keep your kayak from tilting. What's nice though, we can go ahead and click it in position there. Now make sure you hear that click, because it is when I go up because of the struts. But now you can see we are nice and secure in this position. You guys come closer here, you can see we have about 4 inches minimum distance here needed between us. So that's where you're talking about that 4 to 8 inches there on your cross or your roof rack system, guys, making sure we're adequately away from our vehicle. Now the Pathfinder we are here on today, of course, kind of juts out a little bit here in this wheel well. So we did go ahead, I think we're about 5.5 to 6 inches or so was doing the trick. We brought it in just a little bit. One thing to watch out for though, guys, this does have just a little bit more of a give, not too much. So as you bring that down, make sure you're not forcing it too much so it's not going to be damaging your vehicle. Well, that does bring us to our strap system here. One thing I like about it, you are going to get this little rubber cover here that makes it nice to go ahead and start protecting your cam buckle system. And that just prevents damage to your kayak, of course, and gives you a little bit of weather protection there on your cam buckle. To undo those though, all we have to do is simply press in on that and start working out our strap. Of course, unloosen all of your excess that you've tied off. Make sure that doesn't go blowing in the breeze as we are driving. Now, one thing to take note though, we do actually have this around our cockpit here, so we don't want that going across it here, and basically that's just because you're going to get just a little bit of looseness from it basically as you work it. So the tighter you can get it, the better here. Now ours does struggle a little bit because of how wide our cockpit is, in my opinion, so just keep in mind that is something to kind of have to work against. But we have our two ends here, so let me go ahead and undo this cam buckle here, guys, to make sure we're seeing it correctly. So all we want, our cam buckle here in the top, we loop it to the top here, bring it around, down through our carrier once again, and back into our cam buckle. And what that's doing, making sure all of our strap is pushing this against our carrier, and that way it's not gonna be bouncing around, coming undone unless we want it to. So let me take this other one off. Well, actually, before I do, let's go ahead and actually see this in action so I can show you guys how that gas strut is working. Now, if you guys were to go ahead and put this on the vehicle again and start driving, definitely make sure you put this strap back on. And of course, as you're loading it, but just to go ahead and give us an idea of what we're working with, I'm just gonna go ahead and show us really quickly. So all we wanna do, guys, is press down on these handles once again. What that's gonna do, release this for us. Now you're really gonna wanna feel this take off. As you guys can see, I'm almost going hands-free. It's moving on its own here. I can just simply walk it right up into position, get it locked in, and start setting it down. Now we do wanna pull those handles, and I like to give it just a couple bumps here, guys, making sure it's locked. I did hear that click as it went in, and you can see it's nice and secure. So that doesn't take any time to do, and I really like that gas strut, guys. It does a great job of just allowing me to simply walk it up. I'm doing almost no work. I'm just guiding it, gets it right in position, and man, it really takes the work off you. One awesome thing about this as well, guys, you can see how it's just hanging right there, of course. Makes it really easy to just grab this and simply walk it off. And then, of course, just to simply mount it like so. Now again, you're gonna have that little bit of give, so it can be nice just to be gentle. Don't press too hard. You do have a lot of pressure on this system. Just treating it nice, it's really gonna help it go a long way. But we can go ahead, remove this, and let's start taking a closer look at our carrier. One thing I like about it, not scrounging on the roof to take a closer look like I normally am. It's just right here. As you guys can see, we have a nice little foam padding here on the outside. What's cool about this too, we can take this cover off and actually take this guy and get them rinsed, and it prevents this from actually getting any kind of torn up or a little damage on it, which is nice. I'm pretty sure we can go ahead, take that guy off, wash him in no time, get him right back on. That way, of course, we keep it nice and clean. You can see you have just a little bit of a nice little padding here on the inside too. Now it is kind of a hard plastic, but it does have that like soft rubber top right there in the middle to make sure that we have a nice frictionless surface to make sure that our kayak isn't going to be shifting around while still being nice and supported. Now one thing with it guys, it is going to be a steel construction. So that means you are going to see a little bit of corrosion, a little bit of wear and tear on it. I think though, if we are treating it properly and trying to clean it as much as we can, and especially when we actually have this outer housing on here, you can see I think most of that rain is going to do a good job of making sure it's staying on the outside of the carrier. I would just be conscious of keeping it in this position as you load it up. I know things happen, we get caught in the rain, so it can be nice to go ahead, spritz that down, a little bit of oil, a little grease can go a long way of making sure our parts stay nice. Now you are also going to have a nice aluminum colored powder coat here on the outside, so this carrier is going to be resisting that rust. However, powder coats very susceptible to getting scratched, so make sure you are trying to treat it as well as you can, getting your kayaks up on this bumper, on this pad as we load it. Again, a little bit of care goes a long way with this guy. It's just is kind of a complex piece of machinery that just needs a little bit of care. Well, I can go ahead and actually show off this gas strut really well in this position. What's kind of funny, you actually do need to put a little bit of weight there to actually get that to release. And as you guys can see, I'm fighting it as it wants to walk up. So I really do like how that works. And I like how it hangs right here in this position until I'm ready to actually get it to be moving. So I love how kind of modular that is and how I'm ready to go when I want to be. So let's hop up, start taking a closer look at how we have this mounted. Just to go ahead and give us some dimensions right out of the gate, we're gonna go ahead from this highest point above the corrugate of our roof. Now this is about 12.5 inches extended from the top of this carrier, but we do have a slight little curve here just because of how our Pathfinder is sitting. You can see it's kind of kneading down on the outside, so we'll go ahead and take that account. So I'm looking at about 7 inches from the top of our corrugate to the top of our carrier there. So ballparking for about 12.5 inches above that is going to be putting us about 19.5 to 20 inches at max, guys. So I don't think our kayaks are going to get much more than that. Now keep in mind, that's probably going to keep you from getting in through the garages. However, should be putting us well below that drive-through marker. However, let's just be a little conscious of it as we do approach those, as that can be very dependent on your actual kayak. Now to see how these guys are actually installed, I'm going to go ahead, bring this guy out one more time to get us a look at our clamping system. Now I'll go ahead and back this off here just a little bit, but we actually do have a T-slot attachment on this guy. So we have two little guys here on the inside that are holding us in, and on the back as well, making sure that we are nice and secured. So the included tool makes it really easy to run our mounting hardware on the inside of our track and start securing this to our roof rack. So keep in mind, you also do need a T-slot attachment on your roof racks to make this work for you. Well guys, important thing with this guy, of course, you're gonna need that overhang. However, we're gonna have to keep that overhang in mind, of course, as we're driving. So going from the top of our roof and then maybe from the side of our car, we're gonna see how much of an overhang we're working with. So actually from that roof rail system, we're gonna be right at, kind of hard to show you here guys, right at 17 inches there. So let me go ahead and back that up just to give you guys that idea. Sorry about being right-handed on you guys. So as you guys can see, 17 inches from that roof rail system, and that puts us pretty far, not too far from that wheel well, about 3 inches or so, guys. Let me go ahead and try to work this guy up, give us that perpendicular for ourselves. And again, we're actually not getting that far extended from natural here when we are hanging, only about 2 inches or so, guys, which I do like to see. Now keep in mind, that is because our Pathfinder has that wheel well going out. So the big one's gonna be, of course, when we are actually on this overhang, when we're pulling it down, how far are we extended? Well, from the side of our car here to the very end is going to be putting us right at 25 inches there, guys. I know it's a little flipped on you, but it is going to be right to the very end of that carrier. So it is going to be about 2 feet extended from the vehicle, or an inch or more. So keep in mind when you are going to unload this, make sure you're not parking where you are parking, where you have adequate space to actually get this guy down and get your kayak off and on. One last little thing on here, the carrier, guys, you can see we actually do have locking core attachments available. Now those are sold separately by Thule and available here at etrailer.com, and that can be a great way of making sure that your carrier stays attached to your vehicle when you leave it unattended. Now in my opinion, for what we're having to pay for this guy, I would highly recommend getting it. Of course, we don't want to get this guy all set up just to come back from our nice adventure to find it gone. It's going to be very nice to go ahead and make sure that it stays there when we leave it unattended. Well guys, I have become a quick fan of the Thule Hullavator. It's been awesome just to go ahead, load that kayak up and not have to break my back all day, loading it up and getting on down to see how it works. Takes all that pressure off me, and it's not a gimmick, it really does work really well. And they get kind of surprises people when they get it on there. We had a couple of people testing it out and they're going, whoa, trying to catch it as it goes. So that's actually one thing I would say with it. Be careful utilizing those gas struts. They are gonna wanna take off on you, and make sure we're not doing any damage to our vehicle. Just letting it glide up real nice is really easy, and that way we can go ahead, have all our fun without all the work. Now if you're going, man, this is just a little bit too crazy for me, I'm not needing all of that help, I highly recommend taking a look at the Yakima Showdown. It's going to give you pretty much the same little thing. However, we're not going to have those gas strut assists. It's really going to be on us to slide it out and get it in position. So going to be a lot of the same mechanics without a little bit of help. So that's something you're not needing. That can be a nice little kind of tangent to go to. Although guys, this is going to be an excellent way. As we said, if you don't want to fight that kayak and just want to get up there and have some fun. Well guys, I think that about does it for our look at the Thule Hullavator here on our 2015 Nissan Pathfinder. I'm Bobby. Thank you for watching.